A 31-year-old female medical resident in Calcutta, India, was recently arrested and was brutally tortured to death while she was sleeping in one of the seminar rooms in the hospital after doing a 36-hour shift. Before I start the video, I want to share that details of this case are horrific and very violent. So if you are sensitive to those kind of things, please you can keep scrolling and watch a different video. Everything in this case is alleged and we don't know who did it. There are a lot of theories circulating around on the internet and on the news. And me being a Pakistani doctor, I was not sure whether to make this video or not, because I know how Indians feel about Pakistani people and how they will perceive my video. But since I am a woman and I am a doctor, it was very hard for me not to speak up about this horrific ordeal that has happened to her. In the end, I'm going to share my personal unbiased opinion on this case as a psychiatrist and as a Pakistani doctor, because I know the culture very well. I am from the neighboring country of India. Also, Pakistan used to be part of India, so there are a lot of things from Indian culture that still exist in Pakistani culture, because we were basically the same country.
About this is Dr. Momita Debnath, the Indian doctor who was brutally gang-assayed and murdered at the hospital she worked at after she lied down to rest following a 36-hour shift. And just so some of you who are new understand the severity of what happened, I'm going to tell you a little bit about what they did to her. After they were done with her, her legs were pulled so far apart that her pelvic bone cracked.
Pelvis is the most strongest bone in the body, and it is very difficult to break. So when they found her, both her legs were 90 degrees to her body, like they were completely stretched out, and it can only be possible if the pelvis is shattered. Since there was blood coming out of her eyes, there was blood coming out of her mouth, and there was blood coming out of her private parts. Her whole body was covered with bite marks and scratches and bruises. Seems like she really fought for her life, but of course she was not able to win, because there was not only one person. It is suspected that there are multiple people involved. Postmortem studies have shown that there was 151 gram of male ass liquid found inside her uterus, and one man is able to produce maximum between 10 to 15 gram of that ass liquid. They also strangled her so tightly that her neck bone was all shattered, her skull was broken, and she was found in semi-nude position by the hospital administration. So things get very weird if they haven't been weird so far. This is actually one of the most horrific crime that I have heard of. And it happened to a doctor at her workplace while she was saving lives. This incident happened on the night of August 8, and Independence Day for India is August 15. So when administration found her body, they called her family and they said that she's not feeling well at first. Then they said that she has unalived herself. She has taken her life, when it was very clear that it was a murder case. When a doctor is not safe in the hospital, how a patient can be safe? So people are going to that hospital to get help, to get treatment, and these kind of things can happen. So there's another allegation that the Calcutta resident doctor who was the victim, she found out about some crime ring that was going on in the hospital, and she wanted to report it. and some very higher up officials find out about it, and they wanted her to be silenced. There are also some lot of allegations against the principal, and we are going to discuss it. Principal of that medical school, Dr. Sandeep Ghosh, seems to be a very corrupt individual.
Principal of the hospital, Dr. Sandeep Ghosh, resigned from his post on 11th August 2024, 3 days after the incident.
So he resigned from his post. However, few hours after his resignation, he got transferred to another medical school, just few hours away from Calcutta. And some people are saying that it was not even resignation, because he seems to be promoted. That was a much better school. He has been involved in trafficking of dead bodies, and yeah, you must be wondering what people do with dead bodies. They do traffic not only live bodies, there's a big industry to traffic dead bodies too. He was also involved in aswad trafficking. All of these are allegations, and he was involved in trafficking of medical supplies, medications. And one other thing happened which is so bizarre, is that hospital started renovation right outside where the incident and crime happened, major renovation, and everyone suspected that they are doing it just to clean the crime scene. So what can we take away from this incident? India is considered R-word capital of the world. And just imagine if this is happening to an educated woman with a very respectable position, doctor. What would, at her workplace, what would be happening to just average women? Now I want to share my humble opinion. Seems like in this case, some very powerful people are involved, because there are rumors that some of the interns flew out of city or country right after the incident. And there is a lot of confusion that has been created. Confusion and chaos are ideal to wipe the evidence. It doesn't seem like motive of this crime was just temptation or as urge, because it is so horrific in nature. It seems like there was a statement made about patriarchal dominance. There was a statement made to make this crime so horrific and so gruesome that people will get afraid. It's to instill horror and fear among people, so they are not going to speak up against people in power. And that's exactly what's happening, because because people in medical school and hospital are not saying anything about what has happened. They are protesting, but no one is saying anything. No one has seen anything. Now I'm going to share a couple of my opinions why the R word is so common in India. India is a very patriarchal society, and most of you may not know this, but I know this because I grew up watching Bollywood movies. I'm from Pakistan. Bollywood is just like Hollywood of India. I feel so small just saying this, but I have to share this information that in Bollywood movies, in the past, thankfully, that this trend is gone. Our word was glamorized in the movie. In every movie, there was a scene of a woman getting R-worded. Can you believe it? In majority of the movies, there was one actor who is known to R-word women in movies. So they were just glorifying it for the public. Recently, there's a movie that came out of Bollywood and became extremely popular. It was so popular, it broke all records. And it is one of the most misogynistic movie I've seen in my life. It made me so upset because women are shown as pure objects. They are just objects in the movie. And that movie became so popular. No, a lot of people didn't see any problem with that movie. That's like, my mind was bedazzled knowing that, like, how can they not see what the movie is portraying? A lot of people did, a lot of women and men did get upset about the violent nature of the movie, and not only violence, the misogynistic part was the one that really bothered me, how they showed women just as objects in that movie. So all of this create culture in a society. For a society to change its culture, they need to change a lot of other things. But this is again my humble opinion. I may be wrong. Please, if you are from India, I would love to hear your point of view. Also, I do feel that there's no respect for women over there. Otherwise, they wouldn't be R-worded like this. So it just, I don't know what needs to change, but a lot of things need to change. And first of all, we cannot glorify women being portrayed as objects or women being R-worded in movies and media.